Welcome, everybody. We start the new week with a new record lead in national polling for the Democratic presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. Donald Trump says he will not be debating again. And why would he? The last debate was an absolute disaster for him. We are going to look at competing rallies, Tim Walz and Donald Trump. We're going to look at overt planned intimidation tactics at the polls based on the race of the voters. It's been a crazy weekend, and it's great to see everybody. So let me frame up for you where we are nationally and where we are as far as some critical battleground states. Now just 5 weeks, essentially. Wait, 5 or 6? I just never remember. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 6 weeks and a day out from this presidential election. Kamala Harris today has a bigger national lead than she has had at any point during this campaign of 2.2 percentage points nationally. And critically, she is closing in on 50% support. She is currently at 49.4. If you take a look at recent polling, you find just a couple of outliers that say Donald Trump has a lead. Yes, we have a Rasmussen poll, Rasmussen known to lean right. Going further back, we have an Atlas Intel poll, which says Trump +3. But other than that, all serious polling, NBC News, Kamala +5, CBS News, Kamala +4, Fox News, etc., almost all have Kamala Harris leading. At the largest, it's +6 according to Morning Consult. And then we have a couple polls that are a tie, the New York Times Siena poll and a Harvard Harris poll. What this tells us is something we probably didn't need polling to know, which is that regardless of who becomes president by getting 270 electoral votes, the winner of the popular vote will almost certainly be Kamala Harris. This doesn't require sort of incredible intuitive abilities to suss out, because it's been for now a while the case that the Democratic candidate tends to win the popular vote, even when they do not win the Electoral College. So that gets us to, well, how are things looking in those critical battleground states? In Arizona, Trump has now built a lead. We have to acknowledge where we are. And where we are is that while the national numbers continue to improve for Kamala Harris, Arizona, a state won by Joe Biden in 2020, is now all red as far as recent polling in the sense of Trump winning. The New York Times Siena poll has Trump +5. Now, I think it's an important caveat to mention. We take all of the information and then try to synthesize it together. Just as one data point, there have been 6 to 8 months now of the New York Times Siena polls being very much favorable to Donald Trump in those battleground states. Whether we believe Trump is winning Arizona by 5, well, on average, he's winning by 2.2. So Arizona would be a change from Biden to Trump if these results were to hold. Importantly, I'm just the messenger, okay? I'm giving you the good news nationally, and I'm giving you the not so good news at the state level. In Georgia, a state also won by Joe Biden in 2020, Donald Trump has built a lead there, and it is red as far as the eye can see. A couple of tied polls, but mostly every poll in Georgia currently being led by Donald Trump. So what would this do to the electoral race? Well, up on the screen, I have the 2020 map, If we take Arizona and flip it red, and if we take Georgia and flip it red, it still is a win for the Democratic candidate if all else remains as it was in 2020, but it makes it very, very dangerous. Again, going by the polling right now, a scenario that is possible is Kamala Harris wins the national popular vote by 2. That's what Hillary Clinton did in 2016. but 2 states flip to Trump, those states being Arizona and Georgia. If that's the case, if Trump gets Pennsylvania, he becomes president of the United States. If Kamala Harris can keep Pennsylvania, but Michigan goes to Trump, he becomes president of the United States. Or if Wisconsin goes to Trump, he becomes president of the United States. Nevada going to Trump in this scenario would not make him president of the United States. But on the bonus show today, we are going to talk about actions that Republicans are taking in Nebraska. Nebraska, yes, where if they want to change how electoral votes are counted in Nebraska, you could end up in a situation where if Republicans get their way, which is that Nebraska goes winner take all, that would give Trump one more electoral vote. And that would give us, if Trump flips Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, and they get that change in Nebraska, that would give us the elusive 269 to 269 tie. All right. I think we've done enough of the sort of granular stuff. What's the takeaway? The takeaway is that we now have many examples in American presidential election history. We have the year 2000. We have the year 2016, where the Democratic candidate wins the popular vote, and yet the Republican still becomes president. That's a plausible scenario. Now, I know that there's a more optimistic scenario. There are people talking about a Kamala landslide. Just to go back to our map, there are people talking about Kamala Harris holds Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, and maybe even wins North Carolina. And then, oh boy, what a scenario we have. Yes, that's a possible scenario. But we have an asymmetrical risk scenario here where it would be so disastrous for Trump to become president that we have to guard against what is a plausible scenario, a win in the popular vote for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump still becoming president of the United States. If you want a sign of Trump running scared, well, I have one, and I want to talk about that next. Are you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Sleep is one of the most important foundations of mental and physical health. And our sponsor, Beam's formulation called Dream, is a delicious nighttime hot cocoa drink with melatonin, clinically proven to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. Melatonin can also help correct circadian rhythm disturbances, get your sleep schedule back on track, for example, in jet lag situations. Dream comes in great tasting flavors like mint chocolate chip, chocolate, peanut butter, sea salt caramel. I love the cinnamon cocoa version. No sugar added, sweetened with monk fruit, just 15 calories per serving. Dream hot cocoa it's just a nice way to wind down before bed. It's hot and flavorful. It's not overly sweet. It's a soothing way to relax about an hour before going to bed. Go try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder and get 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is in the description.